Well, joining us live now, the Shadow Veterans Affairs Minister Barnaby Joyce. Barnaby, it is good to see you. A few points to raise this morning. Let's start on China and this warning that came from Joe Biden yesterday to Anthony Albanese as they were there together at the White House. This is all ahead of the Prime Minister's trip to Beijing. Trust but verify is what Joe Biden said. And plus you've got the point that he made that the US is still a Pacific nation, or is a Pacific nation, pointing to our closeness. Are you encouraged by the wording of Joe Biden in recent days?
Well, yes. I mean, I think the first one's a statement of the obvious. You trust, but you check. And the second one is, well, we want the United States to be a Pacific nation. Otherwise, we're awfully lonely down here. So we need an engagement of the United States. It's our ally. It's a democracy. We've been in so many conflicts before. We both believe in the rule of law. There's so many ties. It's the obvious. It's so close to the society that we wish to live in. We don't want to live in a totalitarian state where, you know, one government, an essential figure, reigns supreme. We like our democratic process, and so we like other countries that have a similar process to how we live to be closely allied with us. And there's no better one than the most powerful nation on earth, is there?
No, there's not. What kind of extractions do you think that Anthony Albanese should be trying to get out of Xi Jinping from the visit?
Well, obviously you want to make sure there's any of the embargoes we had and the tariffs we've had placed on trade was not because of anything we did wrong. It was because of statements around COVID. Now we've got to make sure that if we're going to be part of the World Trade Organization, that people comply with the rules of the World Trade Organization, and that means you don't put arbitrary tariffs on. I think just to rebuild relationships, especially trade relationships, are incredibly important to Australia, incredibly important to our agricultural sector. And anything that you can do to sort of temper actions, I don't know how you'll go, to be quite frank, but in the South China Sea, vis-a-vis the Philippines and Japan, nobody is served by an unharmonious area that we live in. Everybody becomes poorer. It's a bad outcome all around, so let's make sure that that doesn't happen. I don't know how Mr Albanese will go on that one. There will be a little bit of delicacy about it, seeing he'd just been to the United States.
Just on the economy, Barnaby, the Treasurer seems to be at odds with economists about a potential rate rise next month. All the banks now are factoring in a rate rise on Melbourne Cup Day, proving that inflation is not tamed despite protestations to the contrary.
Well, we've got massive problems here in cost of living. Now, I don't know where the truth lies. I'm inclined to say there's more competency in the senior economists at the banks than there is with the Treasurer. But that's because he's a Treasurer. He's a doctor of political science, not a doctor of economics. What I can say is that, please, you've got to note the cost of living issues. And like simple things, there are sheep out here that we're selling them for $2 a head. Sometimes they don't get a bid. Yet look at the price you're paying in the shop. We have to, excuse me, watch that. We have to, modern technology, we have to make sure that you're getting a fair price. Same with issues with beef. And power prices completely and utterly through the roof. Completely and utterly through the roof. And that's because of this mad nirvana that Minister Bowen is on. It's really causing so much pain and so many problems for people in regional areas. And interest rates, probably the least likely that he can control. But if you reduce government expenditure, you put downward pressure on interest rates.